You want answers?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
You want answers?
You have offended my family.
I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth!
And you have offended Shaolin Temple.
You can't handle the truth!
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Radical Rant.
Is it normal to be sexist? Now, it's not exactly a rhetorical question. When you look at the statistics, the more one smokes pot, the more likely one is male. Those who have tried pot in their lifetime are 54% male. By the time you get to the daily tokers like me, it's 68%. That's 2 tokers for every tokette. Is tokette sexist? Well, anyway. Then there are the trade magazines and the expos. You know, the advertisements of the naked women covered in buds. Well, that's been a complaint for a long time among many women and some men commenting on the cannabis culture. Now, the medical marijuana industry is flourishing in California and Colorado, and with it come the trade shows where some vendors compete for traffic by employing scantily clad spokesmodels. So on one side, you have the free speech and sexual expression advocates explaining that sex sells. The marijuana industry is no different in that respect than the fast food, car, and beer manufacturers. But then on the other side, you have the civil rights and reform advocates explaining that, well, fast food, cars, and beer are legal, and they don't have to fight for legitimacy and respect in a political market as long as they're fighting for eyeballs and dollars in a commercial market. It's more than an industry, it's also a civil rights movement. Now, should free speech and sexual expression be curbed for this political correctness? Or do we flaunt our freedom to communicate any message we like, risking that it may harm our recruiting efforts and public opinion for legalization? Bottom line, if you'll pardon the pun, are the extra dollars from advertising marijuana with babes in booty shorts worth impeding the legalization of marijuana? And maybe if you make a profit off overpriced marijuana due to prohibition tariffs, it just might be. Now, the reason this comes to my mind is because of a Facebook zit I just popped. Now, I know, gross, but it sums up succinctly my general impression of the social network. When I get complaints about NORML chapters in my position as outreach coordinator, as soon as I see Facebook in the description, my eyes glaze over. I know what I'm about to read will be a sensitive, painful, public eyesore that is taken far too seriously, makes a tiny mess, and is then forgotten. Like a zit. However, this time a complaint caught my attention because it was about one of our chapter directors and had been forwarded to my colleagues at the NORML Women's Alliance. It seems the director had posted a graphic on his wall, someone found to be sexist and violent and unbecoming of a normal leader. Now, it's a safe for work graphic, as long as the word vagina is safe for your work, and, well, if it isn't, well, it's too late now, huh? And I've got a link up at the blog at stash.normal.org if you'd like to look for yourself. Basically, it's a picture, and pardon me for the language on it, it's a picture of an old-time 50s movie of a man striking a woman, and the comment along it says, "Fuck your vagina, I've got man things to do." That's the graphic. So that was taken to be offensive, and the complaint was made to the Women's Alliance. Now, needless to say, my colleagues at the NWA were not amused by epithets accompanying a photo of striking a woman. But the posting is on the director's private Facebook page. However, his position as a NORML leader was listed prominently in his profile, and he often promoted his chapter's work and events through that public page. We asked the director to either remove the one offensive graphic post from his personal Facebook page or make the page truly personal and remove reference to his leadership position at NORML. Now, it's a more measured response than I personally would have given, because I can't imagine a leader of any other political organization posting such offensive material publicly and then being allowed to remain in a leadership position. I mean, do you suppose if President Obama, Representative Boehner, or Speaker or House Majority Leader Reid had a personal Facebook page with such a graphic that, people wouldn't make a big deal about it? That's the level we need to live up to. We in the marijuana legalization movement are working from already a public deficit here. We're working from a deficit of trust and respectability. We can't take any of these chances. Now, unsurprisingly, the director became irate about NORML censoring him and not respecting free speech. He defended the graphic as being funny as hell, and that 99.9% of the public found it hilarious. He disparaged our founder, Keith Stroup, railed about political correctness, and lamented how NORML wants to restrict his freedom of expression because of the complaints of a couple of, quote, pissy little bitches, end quote. He resigned, telling us we've, quote, lost the most important person NORML had, end quote, in the area, vowed to spread the word of our transgressions, and pledged to be our mortal enemy. In other words, my first instinct was correct. We're better off without such a lout. I'm shocked, though, that it came to all of this. How is it that male tokers who wish to be public leaders of the marijuana movement can't understand how institutionalized sexism holds us back politically? Does our outlaw counterculture and male-female imbalance just shelter us from recognizing the sexism that the mainstream's been addressing and correcting for over the past 3 decades? Or does our culture actively foster an environment of sexism? This is important because women's support for marijuana legalization in the latest polls lags behind men's support by 10 percentage points. If women supported legalization as men do, there would be overall majority support for legalization nationwide. Women, for many reasons, and not the least of which is the pressure to be good mothers, are more afraid to voice their support when they do support legalization. Now, critics have complained about the overwhelmingly male boards of NORML and other drug reform orgs, and rightfully so. But for so many years, there was a dearth of capable women stepping up to the plate. Now, that's not the case so much anymore. We've got strong women in NORML like Candace Hawes in California and Ellen Comp in California, Norma Sapp in Oklahoma, Cher Neufer in Ohio, Mary McKenzie Crow in Arizona, Anna Diaz in Oregon, Ann Davis in New Jersey, Tanya Davis in Ohio, Lori Duckworth in Oregon, Karen Goldstein in Florida, Linda Adler in the Virgin Islands, Carly Duran in Texas, Ruth Liebsman-Martiniak in New York, Jennifer Foster in North Carolina, Dee Duffy in Virginia, Carrie Gallagher in Oregon, Lauren Wolpen-Mayton in Colorado. They're all leading or have recently led NORML affiliates and chapters all across this country. And Madeline Martinez joined NORML's board in 2007 and is joined by Greta Gaines this year on the board. We are moving in the right direction. But still, 16 of 67 affiliate and chapter leaders is less than 1 female leader in 4. 2 of 15 board members being female is an even worse disparity. How much of this crisis in female recruiting is attributable to their lower representation among tokers generally, and how much of it is attributable to strong, capable women not wishing to jump into a movement they perceive as sexist? Well, I'll do everything I can to recruit more women to the cause. I encourage everyone to visit our NORML Women's Alliance page. It's at norml.org/women. And I'm always eager to continue this conversation on NORML Show Live and in the comments on our blog at stash.norml.org. We must increase female support for legalization, or it will never happen.